Hey ladies, Meg here. This is my first video blog. Sorry it's taking me a little while to get any online, but I want to try and do a little video blog once a week with where I'm addressing some of the questions that a lot of you have. I mean, I'm getting lots of emails about a lot of different things from past relationships, new relationships, and potential relationships. So today, the topic of conversation, because I've gotten a lot of requests or for information about this, is how to get your ex back. Okay, so first off, obviously, when you're fresh out of a relationship, emotions are really high. Your urge could be just to rush back into the relationship. A lot of people will also tell you to just follow your gut. I'm here to say, please don't follow your gut right after a breakup. Here's why. You know, when we're really emotional, just as people, not just women, people in general, men get this way too. When you're super, super emotional, your intelligence is extremely low. So basically, we become walking dummies. That's not a good time to follow your gut. Just saying. It is a good time for you to get a little bit of space from the relationship. Even if you want to get back together with him, you need to take a little bit of time for yourself. Get your thoughts together, get your emotions together, call your friend, have a bottle of wine, have some ice cream. I don't generally encourage people to drown their sorrows with wine and food, but there are exceptions, and this is a one-day exception that you get right after a breakup. Okay? You know, and before we start talking about the things that you're going to do to get your ex back, we're going to talk about the things that you don't want to do. But even before then, I would really like to encourage you to ask yourself, why did we break up? I mean, there must have been a flaw in the relationship somewhere. That's what happens. Now, often those flaws lead to breakups that are temporary, and sometimes you grow in the relationship, and other times those flaws lead to an inevitable end of a relationship that you shouldn't be in to begin with. So I want you to ask yourself, do I really want to be in this relationship? A lot of times as women, our fear of being alone is misinterpreted by ourselves as romantic attraction or the need to be with that one person. But really it could just be that you are afraid of being alone, which is totally fine. That fear is normal. So let's talk a little bit about what you're not going to do to get your ex back. Okay, so things you're not going to do to get your ex back. We always want to talk about those first. Number one is spam him with texts. Trust me, it's a bad idea. You might as well just get super drunk, so drunk that you can't even walk over to the computer, update your status on Facebook. I mean, it's just as ridiculous, and you know that. So don't be sending messages that you're going to regret. Besides, any kind of conversation that you're going to have with somebody that you want to get back into a relationship with needs to be a face-to-face conversation, okay? So no text messages. Number two, don't go to his house. I mean, I know he gave you a spare key. This is not the time to use it. We go back to like needing that time, that space, and plus you have to show enough respect for the person that you want to be in a relationship with so that they can heal a little bit and get their emotions together. So just respect one another's boundaries. Don't go to his house. Besides, you kind of look like a stalker then, and that's not cool. Number three, don't make him feel guilty. I know maybe that sounds a little condescending, but listen, we tend to play the victim in situations where there's a lot of emotion involved. And I'm not saying that you're right or you're wrong. I'm just saying, don't play the victim. Don't make him feel guilty. A guilt trip is not the way you want to get back into a relationship with somebody. If they feel sorry for you, and that's the reason why they're getting back into the relationship, that's not going to be a healthy relationship anyways. Besides, he's not the villain, you're not the victim, or vice versa. It's always 50-50, or in some cases 100-100. And really, that's how it should be. So don't make him feel guilty. Okay, so now that we understand what you're not to do to get back with your ex, let's talk about what you can do. Number one is you're going to set up a meeting in a neutral place. Take a moment to think about you know, the emotions that are tied to restaurants and places that you went on a lot of dates together, and understand that if you're to go to any of those places when having a conversation with him, it's really just going to interfere with what the outcome of the conversation could potentially be. So meet in a neutral place. Don't go to your house. Don't go to his house. Sex after conversations like that does tend to happen, and it's not a good idea either. So neutral territory. Coffee shop, a casual restaurant, breakfast joint, fine. Okay, so meet in a neutral place. Second is, you need to have a conversation, right? Obviously. Well, conversation is the second step. Okay, so number 2 is have the conversation that you need to have. My recommendation is that you stick to kind of neutral topics at first, individual questions. You know, ask him about how he's doing with some of the hobbies that you know that he's into. Ask him about his family and his friends. You know, recognize that the questions that you should be asking initially shouldn't be about him in the relationship or you in the relationship. Talk about things about the two of you that are individual. You're kind of starting over on a lot of levels, so you know, take it there. Relax when having this conversation. Also, one of the really valuable things to meeting face to face during this conversation is that you can read nonverbal cues, okay? Please, this is the time you follow your gut. If you're talking to somebody, even if they're not saying what your gut is telling you, follow your gut. So if he's saying, yeah, maybe he wants to get back together, but he's crossing his arms, he's not really looking at you in the eye, you know, that's a sign. Accept that and move on. But at the same time, he could be saying, yes, I really do want to get back together, but I need to take it a little bit slower. That's also going to be something that he's going to show as a nonverbal cue. Okay, so then number 3 on things that you can do is accept the results of the conversation, period. So, you know, if it's decided, he's decided, you just decided, whoever decided, that you're not going to get back together, I need you to move on. The thing is that if it was meant to be, it would be. You're not broken, and he's not a bad guy because it didn't work out. You know, if you're still in a relationship with somebody that doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, you're going to miss the opportunity to get into a relationship with somebody that does. So keep yourself open and available if that's the case. You know, and if the results are, yes, I do want to get back together, but I want to take it slow, please accept that as a result too. That's a really positive step forward. And, you know, we sometimes want to rush right back into where we were in the relationship, and that's not a healthy thing to do. You need to be in a position where you're recognizing this starting over is a healthy thing. Okay, so in conclusion to how to get your ex back, I will say that obviously breaking up is not an easy thing to do. It's okay for you to be emotional about this. Cry it out. Do something creative with that emotional energy. Take up dancing. Start writing in a journal so that you have a productive outlet for those emotions. It's okay to be sad. Embrace that. You know, some of the world's best art was actually created under emotional distress. So, you know, there are positive things that can come out of this emotional state that you might be in. Also, you know, you get the opportunity to meet the right guy for you. And that should be something that's exciting. So once you actually get control of how you're feeling, you'll start to realize that there's lots of fish in the sea, and that right person is going to be there for you. So that's it on how to get your ex back. Just my opinion. What I would love for you guys to do is continue to send me emails with questions, and I'll try and address as many as possible. And then, of course, if there's people that you know that are fresh out of a relationship, please forward this blog onto them, and I'll see you next time. All right, thanks.